Hey, artsy friends, welcome to my third composition notebook art journal series. This is where I take a cheap composition notebook. I prepared it with several pages of collage. This one happens to be a sewing pattern, and I am going to start with acrylic white paint that seems to be just as good as gesso as far as like laying down a base coat if you need to do that. And I wanted to do that on this page because I wanted to kind of soften the yellow tones a little bit of the sewing pattern. So I got some more new colors. As you can see, I'm opening them up right here, and I already have an orange, but this ends up being a different color orange. And then the green and the blue are both new. These are glow under the blacklight paints. And so this journal kind of accidentally became a blacklight journal. So each page should have just some, I think there's one page I didn't put any on, but I probably will go back and do something just so I can say every page glows under the blacklight. So I am just doing stripes of colors kind of in Roy G. Biv order. So this is the new orange, which is a true orange. And then the one that I already had, this one is an orange yellow. So I probably should have put that one next to the yellow if I was going to make it more of a spectrum. And then finally the pinks, both say pink and they're from the same brand, but they have a different like product number. So they might be just slightly different. So I really like the pink, so I'm just gonna put it around the page in a few other places. And then I know that if I put it on the blue, that I'll kind of make like a little bit of a purple border there. And then the blue is really translucent, so definitely gonna be needing to put down several layers if I want to use that color. Okay, so on the last page that I did, I tried the reverse stenciling technique, and I discovered that the best way for it to work is to use stencils that have really wide openings that you can wipe away. So I'm laying down the paint first, do this metallic silver, and I'm really liking how the texture of the sewing pattern is kind of giving it ripples. So then I'm just taking a damp cloth and removing paint in between the stencils. See, there you go. Isn't that fun? Okay, now I'm going to take the same stencil and try to continue to pattern upward, but instead of doing the reverse, I'm just going to do regular stenciling, so with the same color. So this is one of my little go-to homemade stencils, which it is a potato sack. It's just like the kind that the little tiny potatoes come in. So I'm just adding a little bit more yellow in places. So I'm taking a moment to contemplate how I want to write my quote here. I decided I'm going to just freehand it. I'm not going to plan it out or space it out, but I'm just going to go for it. Each side of the page is just going to have 3 words, so I figured I can kind of play around with it. And I usually just write just a normal stick letter first, and then I'll go back and play around with the letters to make them thicker and thinner and give them a little bit more shape. I don't remember where I first heard this quote or saw it, but I love it. Build longer tables, not taller fences. So, I mean, boundaries are good. Don't get me wrong. They say good fences make good neighbors because everyone needs their space and their privacy. But so what this means to me, though, is like when you find somebody that's different from you, instead of trying to separate yourself more from them, like get to know them, be open, invite them over to dinner, build a longer table and be hospitable and have lots of grace and just love people rather than trying to distance yourself and shut them out. So I think the silver outline just kind of gets lost on the background of the page. So I am going back over the outline of the letters with a thin black line, which just further defines the letters. And then I'm going to go again, and this time I'm going to outline the whole word, each word at a time. So my quote is obviously my focal point as well. And so I'm just going to work on outlining and building up my quote for it to just kind of take over the page. So at this point, I'm just kind of envisioning more and more outlines, and we'll see where it goes from there. I'm still here, really. Sometimes I talk through the whole video. Sometimes I just don't have a lot to say. So this is actually the next day. I realized that that little black dot came from when I closed the journal. So I'm just going to go with it and turn it into something that looks intentional. And then I also want to make sure that my title or my words glow better when I have them under the black light. So I'm going to use my last glue bottle that I bought and fill it up with the blue blacklight paint. And then I'm just going to outline the letters, and these paints really don't do much for you to the naked eye because when they dry, they don't show up very well at all. So you have to kind of go over something that does show up. Also, I wanted to mention that, like, as you're going over things, like I'm like right there, I'm drawing a circle around with the blue, and I'm sometimes like accidentally covering up too much of the black. Then I just go over back with the black marker and make sure I can still see a black outline. So a lot of it's back and forth until you get it right, if you care to get that detailed. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm just like, it's just playful. I don't care if my black shows or not. So there it is. I hope that you enjoyed watching my process. Isn't that blacklight fun? I don't know. Maybe it's me and I'm just a big geek, but I just think it's fun. So I hope that you come back and hang out with me again. Until next time, go make some art and have a blessed day.